I am Ruth Boone. I was born in Duluth, Minnesota in 1904. I was about 10 years old, our family moved to Hollywood by way of Oregon because my father was ill and needed better weather than in Minnesota, as you can imagine. Okay, so we moved to Hollywood. I went to the Hollywood School for Girls, where I was interacting with many famous people and little girls, daughters of many famous people. Okay, so while I was in Hollywood, I met a bright, ambitious young man by the name of Bud or Travis Moore Boone, who is buried here. I called him Bud. He was in Hollywood to sell tiles, handmade, beautiful handmade tiles. He was from the San Ramon Valley. Here I am when I was in Hollywood. His parents, Numa and Minnie Boone, they lived down in San Ramon on a farm. We had a very successful courtship down there. We decided to get married. Well, back then I hadn't met the parents yet, the family yet. His sister, Eleanor, and his parents, Minnie and Numa. So we decided we'd take a trip up to San Ramon and visit the parents and meet the parents. Well, Bud said, let's get married on the way. So we stopped in Merced where we got a license. Unfortunately, there was a 3-day wait on the license, but we got the license and decided to go on to farm. Well, when we were on the farm, Minnie said to Bud, you better not get married anytime soon. Well, we went back to Merced and we got married. Well, it appeared in the San Francisco Chronicle, the announcement, and one of Minnie's friends called her and said, congratulations. Well, she didn't know anything about it. So after that, Eleanor called Travis and said, I want to know if you're married. And when he said yes, she hung up on him. On October 9th, 1929 is when we got married. Well, something happened in October of 1929, the Depression, the stock market crash. Bud lost his job. We had to come back to San Francisco. He got a job as a salesman for Fuller Brush. Pretty soon, Numa was threatened with bankruptcy, and he had to quit his job. We had to move back to San Ramon, to the farm, to the Dutch colonial house where we never left. Okay, it was really difficult during the Depression. The only way we made ends meet is selling grapefruit marmalade, orange marmalade, chili sauce, and various jams and jellies out on the street. That's the only cash we made. My father-in-law got very ill and couldn't do anything. So we took over the farm. Like I say, there was 365 acres. We had uh, beets, sugar beets. We had beefsteak tomatoes. We had walnuts. Walnuts was the biggest crop in Contra Costa County until the 50s. The way that they would get walnuts off a tree is they had this long stick. It was like a bamboo stick with a big rubber mallet on the end of it. And they would, my neck hurts just looking at this. They would knock the walnuts off. The walnuts would fall down and they pick them up. Huge job. Uh, Bud said, why don't we hire some of the workers' wives, because there were so many walnut trees, to help pick up the walnuts. Well, they were delighted because they could make some extra money. I organized a wives group. So for 10 years, and I was part of the wives group, we went around not only to our farms all over the valley, to Livermore, all over, and picked up walnuts. During the Depression, we hired kids during the summer to pick up walnuts. Bud was deputized to hire prisoners to pick up the walnuts. And this was during the war, too. Bud was very inventive young man. And so he invented this thing. It was a tower. Instead of having this big old pole that you break your neck on, he had a tower with oil drums that were placed along the tower. And a man would stand in the oil drums and beat the trees at different levels. You know, when I was in Hollywood, I never thought I'd be picking up walnuts off the ground after going to a girls' school with famous people. But there I was.